They are the constitutional reason we have a state legislature, to fund the state with a balanced budget. It's the money needed to keep the lights on, pay the salaries, and fund agency requests. And every year, it seems, those budget bills get dragged out to the final days of the session. So it creates this kind of sense of urgency and sometimes a heated debate. That was the case with the Idaho Transportation Department. When that agency's budget hit the House floor last week, it nearly failed thanks to a unique clause it included. If you recall, 2 years ago, a frozen pipe it burst and then flooded the old ITD state headquarters on State Street. So now the department wants to sell the property, and they even drafted a sale agreement to the highest bidder. But the state legislature says they get to make the final call, and as Andrew Bartline tells us, that could sink the whole sale.
Proponents of Idaho's new budget process say the state's never used a finer-toothed comb.
I think it's been phenomenal.
But it's brought debate on the line between oversight and unnecessary overwatch.
Nobody's going to want to do business with the state.
Early 2022, ITD's State Street headquarters flooded. Frozen water pipe burst. Ever since, the building's been blocked.
It was $6 million is what the insurance came back and paid us when they went through the flood damage.
A drop in the bucket because repairs go beyond water damage. Lawmakers estimate a renovation bill more than $30 million.
To get rid of the asbestos within the building and get that building back to functional order.
ITD declared the property a surplus and set the sale to a public bid. The winner offered nearly $52 million for the property.
Completely in accordance with our laws.
But not with the budget in question.
This feels really, really dangerous to me.
Because a clause in the new budget explicitly revokes ITD's right to sell, even after drafting a sale agreement.
Private actors invest really substantial resources and energy and reliance on the notion that we are a reliable contract partner.
A reputation in jeopardy. The Pacific Companies was part of the winning bid. They released a statement reading in part, quote, "I expect these kinds of problems in other states like California, Washington, and Oregon, where laws are ignored and businesses can't count on government to keep its word. We don't expect to see this in Idaho. We believed we had a deal." But the state's budget committee believes they're bending the rules in the best interest of the people.
The members have done their homework to propose this as the most cost-effective use of taxpayer funding.
In total, it's an $80 million swing to cancel the sale and renovate the building, and it could be more.
That's a big question mark. What is the flood damage to that building?
Secondly, what's the damage to the state's reputation?
This sets a really scary precedent in terms of people being willing to contract.
Reputations drove the vote, too.
And keeping my word. Thank you.
Representative Brooke Green worked on the budget committee, and she opposes the state overturning the sale, but she already bargained a compromise for her green light.
The members changed their vote.
It passed by one.
Clerk will lock the machine and record the roll.
A vote to keep at least one reputation intact.
I do ask a little bit of forgiveness from my colleagues and forgiveness for my city.
This budget is near the bottom of the third Senate reading calendar. The Senate could get to it today. They just came out of a recess, or should have a couple minutes ago. So we'll see if they get to it on the budget today. The winning bidder did speak publicly about this in those statements. We're trying to talk to them one-to-one conversation. We'll see if we can get to that point. It seems they want to wait until they see how this thing ends. Of course, would have to go through the Senate until we understand that.
So just so I understand it, they're going to go from taking money in to spending more money. So it's going to go the other way. This fiscal conservatism doesn't seem to apply to this case?
Wendy Horman, Representative Horman, I should say, on behalf of JFAC, says that long-term, this is fiscally more responsible. I imagine that property has a lot of value.
Sure it does.
Over years, decades, it would make sense.
Okay, but
That's
right
their
now
argument.
it's just going to sit there and maybe spend more money wrapping it up. Okay.